Hello, I'm BXTOYCAT, and no, you're not the only one who thinks that it's easier to get to the Nether now than it ever has been before. There are so many new opportunities to get to the Nether, as well as so many more when you get there, that a lot of people are considering living in the Nether exclusively in Minecraft. And if your plan, when you get into a Minecraft world, is to go straight to the Nether and try and survive there as long as you can, then it might be important to note that the Nether actually isn't one homogeneous place anymore, but is instead made up of 5 separate biomes, all of which have different mobs, all of which have different blocks, and some of those blocks are much more useful for surviving than others. And in today's video, I'll be guiding you through all of them and letting you know how you can live and survive and thrive in the Nether in this update. So before anything else, it has to be mentioned that if you're coming into the Nether with only a flint and steel on you, or maybe not even that, then the thing you're going to need first of all is to get yourself some wood, and wood in the Nether is only found in 2 biomes, or to be precise, the stem blocks, which are not technically wood. They don't burn like wood and they can't be used in all the same ways, but the warped stem and the crimson stem are found in their respective biomes, the warped forest and the crimson forest. If you want to find yourself some wood in the Nether, these are the places you'll need to go. However, if you want to get that wood, you've got to bear in mind the 2 biomes are very similar in a lot of ways, but the biggest difference is going to be the mobs, because in the Crimson Forest you're going to find piglins, which seem like they're the more terrifying mob because they actively try to hunt you, whereas in the Warp Forest you're going to find endermen, which seem like they'd be much better of a mob to come across, and in some ways they certainly are, but bear in mind, an enderman is neutral until you look at them, something that's very easy to do by mistake, and if you do look at them, they are much more terrifying than the piglins. And you'll also find zombified piglins, the kind of mainstay of the Nether. They used to be called zombie pigmen. You'll find those in both as well, but the key exception is that while you're in Crimson Forest, you'll additionally find these hoglins around the place. So hoglins are simply best thought of as just Nether pigs. They are a thing you can find in the Nether, which are super hostile towards you and indeed piglins by default, but if you kill them, you'll get something very handy, because not only will you get some leather, but you'll also get some pork chops. There is now some pretty easily obtainable food in the Nether, which is essential when you look at my health bar and hunger situation and realize that I'll need not just 1 hoglin, but maybe some more too, actually. So the too long didn't watch version of this video is what is the best biome to survive in Minecraft. In the early game, if you have nothing else, you need to find yourself a Crimson Forest, because it's the only biome that has access to both wood in a very easy way, or a form of wood. Again, it's not fully wood in every single way, but it's the only biome that has access to wood easily, as well as having easy access to food that you can kill almost immediately to keep yourself going. In addition to food, in addition to wood, in addition to the trading you can do here, once you get some gold armor and can stop the piglins wanting to kill you on sight, it's worth mentioning the Crimson Forest will also have access to gold ore, as is found all the way around the Nether, so you can get from wood straight up to the next tier of gold if you really want to from this. But if you want to get to stone instead, then you'll need to find yourself in one of 2 biomes. There's obviously the Basalt Delta, which is filled to the brim with blackstone, but a little known fact is you can actually find blackstone all around the Nether in the Nether Waste biome, because in these biomes they'll spawn in small pockets, kind of like magma, and you can get yourself some of this blackstone. Blackstone looks suspiciously like cobblestone, and it's not just a look-based equivalent, it's actually the fact that these blocks are effectively the same as far as most Minecraft crafting recipes are concerned. So we can make ourselves a crafting table from our pretend Nether wood. We can combine it with some sticks that we also make from that same Nether wood, and then just like this, as you can see, we can make ourselves a stone pickaxe if we want to, or a stone sword, or a stone axe, or even a stone shovel, or really we get to go with like a stone pickaxe and a stone shovel. Is that what we want? I don't know for sure, but the fact that we have the choices is kind of nice in my opinion. I'd even argue the most important recipe you can make with cobblestone of all is the furnace recipe, and that of course too is craftable using blackstone in the place of cobblestone. So yeah, if you want to survive in the Nether, you need to have yourself a Crimson Forest to start with, but if you want to go up to the stone tier, which is pretty basic in the overworld, you need to find a second biome entirely, either the Basalt Deltas or the Nether Wastes, which is kind of like the default Nether generation prior to 1.16, but you need to find one of those biomes, because that's where you'll find the valuable things to cook up your goodies. And indeed, later on, if you get a Silk Touch pickaxe, it's the best way to turn Nether gold ore into something kind of worthwhile, in my opinion. So yeah, stone comes from one of these 2 biomes, wood comes from one of these 2 biomes. If you want to get to the next level on the tech tree, then it wouldn't be iron, because iron in the Nether is not really a thing, so instead gold is your next best bet. Gold is slightly better than stone, although generally speaking lasts for significantly less time than even wood itself, and gold gold is found in pretty much every biome across the Nether, technically speaking. That is, just a fact that it tries to spawn everywhere roughly the same, but there is the asterisk that 1, you'll find it in ruined portals more than anywhere else, and 2, you'll find it in the Nether wastes more than any other biome, just because of the fact that it tries to spawn around netherrack, and the Nether waste biome has netherrack on the floor, has netherrack on the walls, and has netherrack on the ceiling. So if you want to get yourself lots of nether gold ore, the Nether waste is the best place to do that, but this will actually work in any biome. If you do want to find iron in the Nether, it's very hard to do so, because if you want to get up to the iron tier in Minecraft, there is only 2 ways to do so, and neither of them are biome specific. Instead, you have to hope for a random structure, the ruined portal, to spawn, and sometimes their chests contain iron nuggets, and if you want to get full iron ingots, your only source is found here in the Nether Fortress. Sometimes you will find iron ingots in the chests right here, very rarely enough of them to make, say, a full set of armor, but you can find some of them if you want a bucket or something along those lines. It should be easy enough to do, relatively quickly, but it gets even harder because the next tier, diamonds, is not found in those, regular ruined portal chests, and instead they're only found in these chests here in the Nether Fortress. Every individual piece of loot that you can find in a Nether Fortress has about a 7% chance of being diamonds, which means given there's about 3 diamonds per chest, you have to search for about 5 chests on average to find yourself diamonds, which is better odds than it sounds like you'd assume really otherwise, but honestly it means that you might have to go through more than one Nether Fortress just to get a single diamond, which is pretty wild when you consider how many you actually need to do the things you actually want to do with diamonds. So long story short, getting past gold tier in the Nether is pretty hard to do, although there are lots of ways to get to gold tier and lots of ways to get to stone tier. So getting a lot of diamond stuff is going to be very hard in the Nether because you're entirely reliant on loot, but bear in mind how hard the process is if you want to get netherite gear instead, because although ancient debris will spawn below every single biome at low enough layers, we've spoken about how to get it before, but it is a very rare thing to find, rarer than even diamond itself. But if you do find it, which is a lucky find by itself, you cannot actually just mine it with your stone pickaxe or even your gold pickaxe, because you need diamonds if you want to mine this and actually get something from it. So you raid Nether Fortresses all the way until you have enough diamonds for a diamond pickaxe, or because it's a Minecraft video, you spawn one in creative, and boom, now you can finally mine this ancient debris, and you can get yourself some netherite scraps, right? I mean, actually, you gotta smelt it first. But yeah, you can take this wonderfully rare ore, and you can get yourself something from it. Let's even assume that you're wildly lucky and you do manage to find more than one vein of it, because you need 4 of this to actually do something with. So you find some more of this, which again, very hard to do, very rare block in Minecraft. It's deliberately designed to be that way, in fact, and sometimes things go very badly. Well, now what you've got to do is you've got to smelt it up. Again, easy enough to do because you can get wood and you can get stone in the right biomes, but you need to have that nether wood or you need to have that nether stone, and you need to combine both those things. Then you need to throw the ancient debris in there with enough fuel to keep it going. Funnily enough, in the nether, finding fuel is kind of hard, so you need to chop down a lot of trees, or you can actually use buckets of lava. That's why you might want a lot of iron, and then you can get yourself some netherite scraps, right? You take those netherite scraps and you combine them with some gold ingots. We actually don't have enough to make a full netherite ingot just yet, but if we did have 4 gold and 4 netherite together, we would be able to make 1 netherite ingot. Wow, magically I got a gold nugget from somewhere, and now we can actually make ourselves 1 netherite ingot, which again, gold is, it's easy enough to come by in the grand scheme of things, but 4 netherite scrap isn't. But even once you've gotten that, the journey still hasn't ended, because you're going to need to make yourself a blacksmithing table. It's funny, in Minecraft Bedrock, this recipe doesn't work yet, alongside a few of the other ones involving wood, but this is what you're going to need, so you need to raid those fortresses anyway, not just for the diamonds, but also to get some iron, just to make a blacksmithing table. And then once you've finally done that, you can combine anything that you did make out of diamonds with this netherite, and you can make yourself netherite tools. It's an absurd amount of effort to go through exclusively in the nether, because obviously you're meant to have diamond tools from the overworld, you're meant to have smithing and all these sorts of, iron is meant to come from the overworld. Doing this entirely in the nether is actually an insanely hard challenge that I do recommend if you want to have a big Minecraft challenge. Can you get all the way to netherite exclusively in the nether? Because it's so much harder to do here. Although this assumes you don't just use the second method, which is the piglin bastion. So the Bastion Remnants, as they're officially called, will spawn in every biome besides the basalt delta, and these are incredibly handy because all it takes if you want to survive right here, or all it takes is to get netherite right here, is you just go, you find a chest, and in that chest, assuming you don't get killed on the way, you can find some enchanted netherite gear. Just bear in mind though, that even though it is enchanted netherite gear, it's always going to spawn pre-broken by at least 50%. It's usually going to spawn with bad enchantments. so better than what you can get in the overworld by default, right? But yeah, you can find, if you want to, immediately netherite stuff, but I feel like if you want to really survive in the nether and have a fun challenge, that should be kind of excluded from it. Although, you know, raiding this thing does have its own little challenges. I would say the most useful thing about this actually is that if you do go mining with a netherite pickaxe, you don't have to worry about getting diamonds for you know, a pickaxe, and therefore you can make a diamond sword or whatever else you want to upgrade. But yeah, long story short, finding netherite in the nether is a huge process unless you find a piglin bastion, some of which are below ground, most of which are above ground, by the way, and all of which are very interesting to find regardless, right? So to kind of finish off this tech tree segment, I guess I should briefly mention that, hey, if you want to enchant your stuff in the nether naturally, you know, you want enchanted gold boots, or you want to make your own enchanted netherite pickaxe, sadly right now this isn't possible. The reason why is because even though you can get diamonds and you can get obsidian here in the nether, although both are kind of questionable and in small quantities, there is no way to get books. Even trading with piglins is not going to give you any you know, books. It's just not one of their trades yet. You can get iron nuggets through them very, very rarely, so it kind of constitutes another way of doing that. But right now, if you want to find anything that's not soul sand, or you don't want to find anything that's not any of these trades, then you're going to need to wait and do it naturally. Also, trading takes a long time on Bedrock, huh? Thank you for the nether brick blocks, friend. Yeah, I love nether bricks. I'm glad he understands me, he gets me. So now we've finished rating the tech tree and how it goes with various biomes, let's briefly just talk about the sorts of blocks that you want and the biomes they'll come from as far as making a nice survival base. Honestly, as far as making a house goes, I'm sure most people are going to be interested in using wood of some form to make the primary part of it. I mean, shroom lights are a nice secondary benefit, but like having wood, having the nether, you know, warp blocks, those are going to be the primary things you probably make your house out of here in the nether. So both types of forest are very interesting. However, the Soul Sand Valley, as far as actual usable blocks go, they have basalt pillars within them, but given that they can be found in the basalt valleys, these biomes are just not worth it as far as the experience of getting blocks goes, as you can easily see. In fact, just about the only thing they offer that's unique is the ability to get these soul soil blocks, which can be lit blue in theory, and the opportunity to get these bone blocks, which are, you know, nice, I guess, to build out of, and also the opportunity to get bone blocks the other way by killing skeletons, because skeletons spawn all over this biome. But yeah, the Soul Sand Valley is really a desolate place as far as blocks are concerned. The only thing I would say is worse is the Nether Wastes, because I mean, it's just netherrack, quartz, and lava, all of which can be found in other biomes anyway, and none of which you probably want in huge quantities, maybe with quartz being an exception, which is obviously found slightly more here than elsewhere. But as far as should you come to the Nether Wastes but looking for a block, is it a biome worth starting and etc. just for this reason? I'd say probably not. Come here to mine resources, sure, because you get quartz, gold, and blackstone, but none of them are exclusive here, and none of them are even found in much higher quantities here to justify going all the way out of your way to look for one if you can't find one easily. So of course, the best biome as far as usable blocks go has to be the Basalt Delta, because it's entirely made up of basalt blocks, which are kind of nice by themselves, can be polished to be made even nicer, and also made up of blackstone. Blackstone, I mean, it just seems like cobblestone when you first think about it. As far as survivability goes, sure, it's nice to find. I mean, having so much of it would be great, but what makes this wonderful is that it comes in so many variants that if you want to build with the blackstone, then you can totally do precisely that, and you can make some really, really nice things, because again, there's 18 different blocks you can make with blackstone, and the number of wonderful things you can do in the nether, I mean, I've seen a few of them, they blow my mind. The beauty you can make in the Minecraft nether when using blackstone and all of its variants, this alone is a block worth coming to this biome for, because if you want it in huge quantities, there's pretty much nowhere else you can go. If you need it in more than a stack at a time, then you have to come to these basalt deltas, and it's worth doing so. Even if you have to be attacked by annoying magma creams, which spawn here more often than in any other biome, which again, can't say I'm a huge fan of. Although I guess I could also mention the fact that, hey, if you're going to basalt deltas because you want some stony blocks, you could also just go to a nether fortress, which can be found in any biome, including the basalt deltas. I mean, here's a particularly interesting crossover of the two biomes, but you can see how, yeah, actually, a nether fortress can also give you access to nether bricks, which are a arguably nice block. I don't like it so much, but some people do, while also giving you access to, of course, the gold and the diamonds and stuff like that you might otherwise be looking for. This is interesting, actually, isn't it? It spawned me in a place where there's never... The lava has overtaken the fortress. What an interesting thing. But yeah, if you want to find horse armor as well, not that there are never horses just yet, then you can come here and you can do precisely that. So even though the Basalt Deltas is the most basic in terms of the blocks that it contains, it has the best looking blocks that you can find in Minecraft, whereas the most variety in blocks you can find in a single biome goes to the Crimson Forest. So the least survivable of the Minecraft biomes has to be the Soul Sand Valley. I mean, if you spawn into here by default, you are just dead. You are spawned in a biome which is filled with ghasts because of the open-air nature of the thing, and you're spawned in a place where you can't really defend from them because you're covered in these soul soil and soul sand blocks, which will slow down your movement and remove your ability to actually run away from them. I mean, the skeletons, which are one of Minecraft's worst mobs because they attack you from afar, are also found here, and you'll also find flames and lava. There is nothing in this biome that can help you for yourself until you get out of it. The only logical move if you do spawn into a Soul Sand Valley is to just try and get out of them as fast as you humanly can. The Basalt Deltas is not a huge amount better by that definition because they have their own terrifying mob in the form of the Magma Cube. They seem to have fewer ghast spawning, so you're less immediately dead, but they do also have lava pits, and they also have the same issue of not having any blocks that you can really take advantage of and use to survive. You need to get out of here and go to another biome if you want to do anything beyond just survive another minute at a time. If you want to actually thrive in a Minecraft world, you're going to need to head to a different biome, especially if you spawn in one of these bits, which is literally just on the lava lakes, which again is the closest thing you can have to an insta-death in Minecraft because you can't break any of these blocks with your fist, fun fact. Meanwhile, the Nether Waste is the familiar old Minecraft that you know and that you love. I mean, admittedly, it's less painful in the fact that you can technically break the blocks with your fist, get nothing for it, and it's less painful for the fact that it has caves which you can hide from the mobs in, and there's no particular biome-specific mobs here to kill you. You can theoretically make some mushroom stew if you do get yourself a bowl or find one somewhere around here, but realistically speaking, the Nether Waste is just as dire and unsurvivable by itself. The Warp Forest is survivable on a basic level, and it's really great looking in my opinion, but it does lack the ability to really go much beyond the wood tier, and indeed you're going to be relying mostly on structures and the loot that come with them if you wanted to survive entirely in one of these, but I would say it's a great place to spawn into the Nether regardless, just because of the fact that you can get wood and you can use that as a basis to build onto other biomes, the most important of those being the Crimson Forest. The Crimson Forest is wonderful because it has it all. It has a source of wood, it has a source of food, it has a source of trading, which can get you a lot of niche items, and of course you can find both the structures in here, and you can take that even further. You could theoretically survive and do everything in the entire game while staying in a Crimson Forest, and either that's super imbalanced and this one biome is just better than all of the others for survival, or it's just the way the Nether is. There is one biome you want to find above all others, and that is going to be right over here. It doesn't contain everything you need to make a perfect Nether, but as far as surviving goes, and as far as making it to the end of the tech tree, or at least as far as you can in the Nether right now, this is the only place you can really do so, and that is why I totally recommend the Crimson Forest if you're going to try and do a Survive the Nether challenge. Which, you know, kind of going to this, point of view, let's talk about just at the end here, hey, surviving in the Nether, it's a fun challenge. I'm sure, you're not the only one who's come up with it. I'm not the only one who's thought of it. It's a thing that makes sense. It's a Nether update. They're making the Nether rather, specifically more survivable with things like lodestones, etc. And as a result, like a lot of people think, let's do a Nether challenge, and I want to do exactly the same. After we're pretty sure that they've finished adding features to the Nether, because we still might see some way to get iron more reliably than just hunting down chests or trading with a 1 in 50 chance of piglins. If we do see the Nether actually become a more survivable place, I think it'd be fun to do a not only surviving in the Nether challenge, but trying to survive in just this one biome for as long as you humanly can challenge. I'd love to see how well you can survive in just one Nether biome challenge, because why restrict yourself to the entire thing when you can restrict yourself to one place? So that is the gauntlet that I'll be laying down for myself, because I really do like the idea of challenging yourself in Minecraft, and if you can survive in the one biome, even if only theoretically, would it be fun to see if you can do that in the real world? So I'll be doing some form of survival challenge in the Nether somewhat soon on this channel. I hope you all look forward to it. I definitely am looking forward to giving it a whirl, and I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope that it taught you about the Nether tech tree, and indeed about which biome is best to survive in the Nether. Because just like my ex-wife, the Soul Sand Valley really feels like it should have some redeeming quality. I mean, it has to, right? Except no, it doesn't. It just drains all the life out of you, and then murders you brutally, and tries to blame you for not caring about it enough. And honestly, that is the Soul Sand Valley's problem. Karen, give the kids back. Thank Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you did all enjoy it. If so, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's something I appreciate because it makes the number go up next to my subscriber count, and wow, that sure does boost my ego. But more importantly, subscribing with notifications turned on will hopefully allow you to see my videos there on your homepage, something I would like for obvious reasons, but something that hopefully you would like also, so you can see more of these videos about the Nether update, and indeed about Minecraft, life, the universe, and all the other things in between in general. Thank you for watching, because I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.